Girls, what was the most obvious hint you dropped, and the guy just didn't get it? My buddy in college was stressing over when to make the move to kiss a girl he liked. While we encouraged him to not wait for the perfect moment, and just go for it, he admitted he should have tried to kiss her when they were in the shower. It's snowing. Just stay here. You can sleep in my bed. To be honest, I would just think to myself, she is really nice offering me that. I'd better not screw this up by trying to sleep with her, and then proceed to say, it doesn't seem so bad, but thank you. My dumbass would just say, but where would you sleep? It's okay, I have good tires, I'll go home. Thankfully my girlfriend now just laughs at my stupid, thinking it's a joke until my brain catches up. I had a similar thing. Out camping and my accommodation was a fair walk away. Girl was like, it's fine, you can just stay in my tent. Me, oh great, do you have a spare sleeping bag then? She'd literally been cuddled up between my legs at the campfire all evening, and I still didn't get it. We were discussing costumes and I sent a picture of me in my bunny suit and said I'd need help out of it. His response was telling me he hoped my roommate was home or that would suck. I had to tell him I was implying I'd like him to take it off me, and it took him a minute to catch up. Edit. For those of you concerned, it was very much a suggestive picture. I'm not sure it could have been perceived as just friendly. And no, you won't be getting proof of said picture for those in my DMs, lol. I was very much ready to hit him with the bat of bluntness because we get along great, and he'd seemed flirty with me before. Jessica, that makes no sense. How can I help you when I'm clear across town? Bless you for hitting him with a bat. More women just need to hit us with the bat because honestly there's 3 situations. 1, the guy is whooshed by it, or 2, the guy is afraid of taking it too far when the girl isn't ready, or 3, the guy isn't interested either, and it makes it less awkward. Friend was complaining he was hot because of his long-sleeve shirt. I said, oh, I'm sure you'd be just as hot without the shirt. He was so unaware, but I finally just kissed him. I once was modeling clothes I planned to take on vacation for my boyfriend. After showing off a couple of outfits, I told him to close his eyes and changed into lingerie. He opened his eyes and I asked him what he thought. His jaw dropped and he said, you can't wear that outside. I put my clothes back on. I went out of my way to come in early and talk to this guy every day for like a month before someone else told him I was into him. I also repeatedly told him I liked him. He thought I was just being nice. I had a girl invite me round her house once just to show me her posters. They were all of Harley-Davidson motorbikes, and she said she's never ridden a Harley before. Awkward silence, and after a few other bits of small talk I decided to be on my way. 2 years later I'm sitting on the bus and realize what she meant. Harley. Ridden a Harley. My name is Harley. A guy I'm currently seeing invited me camping earlier this month. We were cuddling and I noted how nice the showers are in the bathroom at the provincial park. I said, they're really warm and lots of space for 2 people, trying to hint for him to join me for sexy time. This man, without missing a beat, says, actually, you could fit like 10 people in those showers. We laughed about it really hard the next weekend and he said, I knew what you were getting at, but my brain just wanted to answer it logically. Literally said, I want to be yours. And the dude just keeps smiling and goes on about random space facts. That one hurt a bit. What was the coolest space fact? I can't recall, sorry. I kind of just reevaluated my whole flirting technique after that. Fair enough, I just wanted to learn about space. Did you know that while at its closest point, Venus is the planet closest to Earth, most of the time Mercury is our closest neighbor? Even more amazing, Mercury is the closest neighbor most of the time to all the planets in our solar system. Guy here. A girl took my hat off, started running her fingers through my hair and asked what did I do to get it so smooth. I proceeded to tell her all about the new shampoo I had switched to a month before until she cut me off. Well, don't leave us hanging, man. What's the shampoo? Cut you off how? Literally put her finger to my lip and said, you know, I've been flirting with you all night. I was 50-50 because I wasn't sure, but I had suspected it, and had even told my friend, was at an out-of-town party at his sister's house. Girl was actually his old babysitter from when we were kids. What's the shampoo? When I was like 15 to 16, this girl from school I had a huge crush on kept inviting me to her house when she was alone. wearing the smallest tops and asking for back massages. I never got the hint. Years later, when I started going out with my now fiancée, that girl's sister tells my girlfriend, "Hey, my sister had such a crush on him back in school." I was not a bright teenager. A girl came to my house once and spent the night. Around the time for bed, she told me she doesn't sleep with a top on or panties. I told her that's okay, I'll sleep on the couch so she can be comfy. She called me from downstairs later that night and told me she couldn't sleep and she was cold. I figured, well, obviously, you're naked. So I gave her another blanket and went back downstairs. Nice. Did you ever end up on a date with her? How did you and her pan out? I did. She very clearly told me what she wanted a few days later and called me a dork, not happily married or anything, but we used to date for a little, but it didn't work out due to uncontrollable circumstances. So we still hang out a lot among other things, but we're still good friends. She moved eventually and got a great boyfriend, presumably one who understands signals better. No ill will or anything. I'm sure if Emily, from 15 years ago, saw this thread, she'd say, "Invited this guy to my place after our date. Got him into my room, into my bed. He was just lying there, so I told him my back was feeling sore, and asked him if he could give me a massage. His reply, 'Oh, I don't want to crush you with my weight.' He was about 80 kilograms. Gave up and went to sleep. Truth is, I did get the hint. But at the time I was a virgin, and I was convinced I had an STD, yeah, good combo. Turns out I didn't have an STD. Virgin with an STD. It's amazing what our teenage minds will come up with to make us even more awkward and weird. Not a girl, but I was staying a night at a hotel, and the hotel bar had just closed. I went out front for a smoke and start chatting with two women. We shoot the shit for a few minutes and then all head back into the hotel and to the elevator. We get in, they press 15, I press 9, and one of them turns to me and says, "I don't suppose there's a secret bar on the 9th floor we can go to?" My dumbass responds, "No, but you can grab a cab and be at a bar in 10 minutes. Then the doors open and I leave. Edit, this is my most upvoted comment. Cool. This is amazing. How long did it take you to realize? Brushing teeth 15 years later, wait a minute. Honestly, like 2 minutes before I was back in my room going, what the fuck is wrong with me? Invited him over to watch a movie. Eventually laying my legs across his lap and hard flirting, but after 4 movies I had to finally make the move. 4 movies in one night? Or like 4 evenings spread over a few weeks? Both seems astonishingly long time to get your hints. 4 in one night, after I had told him previously that I'm giving him the green light. He said he was scared of creeping me out, lol. I'm not as brutally upfront as some of these people, but mine happened yesterday. How do I know a girl is flirting with me? He asks. She touches you a lot while you two are talking. I cannot relate at all. That never happens to me. I'm sure it does. I tell him and hit his arm. I can't think of any time that's ever happened. See, this is a rough one, because I had this one girl I talked to all the time, and she'd sit next to me in class. I had a huge crush on her, and she'd be overly touchy all the time. She'd occasionally even rest her head on my shoulder, sleep on it during class when she was tired. Just stare into my eyes for prolonged periods of time, and hug me. When I told her I had a crush on her, she shut me down completely, and told me she only saw me as a friend. Straight up told him I like him. I think his response was something like, "But I'm kinda trash," or something self-deprecating. He's friends with my best friend, and she confirmed that his depression is so bad that it takes a lot before he actually accepts any sort of positive attention. I think to some degree it's mutual. Hard to tell, as I, too, am oblivious when guys drop hints. I asked a guy on a festival to come take a shower with me. He didn't get it. He just repeated there was only one free shower, and I was like, "Well, they are big, I'm sure it's fine." And he just looked confused and told me I could go first. We became close friends since that happened about 2 years ago, and this summer I spoke to him about it, and he really had no idea. He did the biggest facepalm I've ever seen. We were playing Don't Drink and Drive on Mario Kart. Just the two of us. I was trashing him, so I gave him a chance by lying sideways across his lap for the entire race. He didn't take the hint. We started dating 2 weeks after that. One time a girl straight up asked if I wanted to take my pants off and I didn't get it. I was like, Nah, they're actually not uncomfortable at all. Usually, when girls ask you to take off your pants, it's for their comfort. No one wants to come in contact with the kind of tough fabric a lot of pants are made of when they're sleeping. Also, always take off your belt. That's just cruel to accidentally poke someone with your belt buckle. I too always removed my belt after taking my pants off. I used to be oblivious, probably still am. There was a girl at a local grocery store who was flirting with me, but of course, I didn't get it. After quite a bit of this, I leave town for a few months and we're corresponding via email. I can't remember why, but I was asking her a string of silly questions like, why is the sky blue? Chicken or the egg first? Where do babies come from? Etc. She answered them all, saving, where do babies come from, for last, and answered it with, when you get back I'm going to show you. I got that one. So, where do babies come from? Did she show you? Asking for a friend here. LOL, oh, she showed me. Many times. It was a good run. Also, babies come from storks. We had a season pass to the stork factory. Asking him to take picture with me, hugged him a couple of times, told him he has nice hair, started smelling him and told him he smells nice. I even looked in his eyes for like 2 minutes. Turned out he was gay, LOL. My fiancée thinks leaving my bedroom door open when she spent the night, when we were just friends, and she lived out of town, and there was absolutely no reason for me to think anything romantic was going on, was obvious. I got up and closed the door because the AC was on and was low-key miffed. Edit. We were friends for a long time before we got together, and she had a meeting early in the morning, so I gave her my bed and slept on the couch. She left the door open thinking I would take the hint. I am a guy, but I can share my density as the guy that missed the hints. I went to a store where there was a girl I liked in college. We used to small talk while I browsed and never bought anything, being a poor college student. This time I came in the store and she said hi, and we chatted a bit while I shopped. She complained, I'm going to be home alone tonight, my family is out of town. I replied, oh, that's too bad. She says, I'm off at 5 today, it was 4 at the time, what are you up tonight? I'm up for anything. Oh, nothing, just sitting at home and watching a movie. My brain must have completely self-destructed, because the conversation ended there. I never saw her again after that. She either quit, or was avoiding me. I must have been in a daze from school to miss that cue. This was some years ago. I was 22, had been talking to this guy for a while, and was ready to lose my virginity. I was a college student living at home, but my mom and stepdad were on vacation celebrating their anniversary, and I figured this would be the perfect time to make my move. He and I already had a date scheduled, so before we went, I cleaned my room and the entire house from top to bottom, created a chill playlist on my computer to listen to, shaved, waxed every necessary inch of my body from the forehead down, put on sexy underwear, and waited for him to pick me up. We went out to the movies, and when he dropped me off at home, I invited him in with the added context and in a leading, flirty tone of voice that we would be all alone and had all the time in the world to do whatever he wanted. He said, that's all right, I'm sure you want to enjoy this time you get without your parents to be alone. He was sure, and he was wrong. I just stared at him for like 10 solid seconds in silence before I nodded, said, yeah, that's true, and got out of the car. The walk from my driveway to the front door was the real walk of shame, and I hadn't even gotten any good sex out of it. After that, I sat in my very clean house in my sexy underwear, eating pizza and wondering how that could have gone differently. It was my first time trying to seduce a guy into sex, and it failed miserably. I laughed about it though, and I still laugh about it now. I just figured it wasn't in the cards for me yet. Ended up losing my virginity a few more years later to the guy I'm currently engaged to, so it worked out wonderfully. He's pretty good at picking up what I'm throwing down. LOL. Shaved, waxed every necessary inch of my body from the forehead down. Maybe it was the lack of eyebrows. Do you have a similar story? Leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos like this one.